Welcome to Union's 30-minute workouts for the next couple of weeks. I am Connie Holzmeyer. I coach the U14 Under Armour team. I'm also a certified personal trainer, assistant coach at Mercy Academy. And this is Elena Scott. She's a setter at Mercy Academy. Also plays on Union 18-1 Under Armour and is a U of L commit. She's going to do all the workouts. You'll hear my voice, see me a little bit, but you kind of focus on her. She's great. She'll show you how to do everything. So, all right, here we go. She's going to jog in place, 20 sets. Everything kind of stays in place so we can maintain our space. And then a squatted hip stretch. I'm just going to kind of squat, push down, push your knees out, and then come up and do a couple arm circles. Okay. Notice she's keeping her feet flat on the floor and pressing her elbows out into her knees to kind of get her hips nice and stretched out. And then we'll do 20 butt kicks. So we do a little bit of a cardio exercise, and we do a dynamic stretching exercise, and we'll alternate those as part of our warm-up. Then she's going to do a reverse lunge, where she'll step back and then rotate to the side, and then she'll alternate legs for a total of 3 on each side, so 6 steps back. Then we'll run high knees, 20 steps in place. And then go to a side lunge. We're going to reach with the opposite hand. So side lunge. Now she drops her hips down pretty good. So she's getting stretch in her inner thigh, warming up her hips, warming up her quads, her glutes, and then also getting a little upper body warm up by rotating core. Good. Okay, so that's for only 30 minutes. So that's a quick little warm up. And we're going to grab a couple of cones. About 2 feet apart. So, yeah, you're good. Go back just a little bit. Good, and then just move back. Yeah, just 2 for now. So she's going to sprint to the first cone and then pop and hold. So sprint to the first cone and then pop and hold. Okay, and she'll do that 3 times. Good. She does that 3 times on each leg. And so now she's going to add a hold and then a shuffle out to the side. She's going to sprint, hold, and then she'll shuffle out to the side. So she's emphasizing like some speed from cone to cone and then good controlled stop before she changes direction. And she'll do 3 of those each direction. Really good job of when she stops and holds. She's very balanced. She's still. She's low. She's not standing real upright. And so now she'll just make everything smooth. So she'll run up. She'll plant off her inside foot and drive and shuffle to the side. Notice it's a quick 90-degree turn. There's no rounding out. She plants her foot, she's low, and she drives out to the side. And we're doing 3 of those on each side. Good. So now we got her all warmed up. We're going to let her go grab a quick drink, and then we're going to move on to some a little bit more intense cardio. So first, the cardio has some timing components. So she's going to work for 40 seconds. She's going to rest for 20 seconds. She's going to work for 30 seconds. Rest for 15 seconds. Work for 20 seconds. Rest for 10 seconds. Then she's going to take that, all the same exercise. Then she's going to start it right back over. After that 10-second rest, she's going right back into a 40-second work. Okay? So first drill she's going to do, she's going to start low in the cone, and she's going to do a jump, turn, and a squat. Jump, turn, and a squat. Okay? I'll let her just demonstrate a couple, and notice that she kind of unwinds. So if she goes one way, she goes back the other way. Okay? Because if you keep going around in a circle, you're going to get a little bit dizzy. So I'm going to set up timing for her. And then when she hears this beep, she'll go ahead and start her 40 seconds of work. Okay, notice she gets high with her jump, and she's soft with her landing. As soon as her feet hit the ground, her hips bend, her knees bend, everything cushions to the ground. And this is a hard drill to work for 40 seconds. So if in the process of 40 seconds you start to get a little bit tired, okay, you can slow down how quickly you're doing your jump turns, okay, but don't compromise how you're landing. Okay. Good, that's hard. Okay, so now she's going to get 20 seconds of rest, and then she'll do that same drill again. So the 40 seconds of everything is always the hardest one. So, and you can always modify by, if the jumping bothers you, you can just do some squats. And Elena, we do some where you just kind of walk instead of jump. Okay, just kind of walk out, yeah, just walk around the squat. Yeah, just kind of like a little hop to the side and squat. Okay, yes, good. So if you're getting tired, the jumps are really bothering you, you can do this to modify. And you can go back to the jump, because I know you want to. But always, 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 great job. Always, as your legs are getting tired, make sure that your landing is really, really solid. Good solid landing on the ball, on the toes, ball your foot, then your heel lands, your ankles, knees, hips, all bend at the same time. Okay. She's got 20 seconds of work, and she's got 10 seconds of rest, and we're going to start it all over again. Now she has a good solid landing every time she drops her hips. Again, so now she's got 10 seconds, and we got to go right into that 40 seconds of work. Okay? So if you need to modify, you can go back to that little step, that slower hop side to side. So just kind of throw that in, Elena, go back to that little hop side to side. I know you can do it the whole thing for 40 seconds, but just kind of modify. Notice when she does do it, her as she's squatting, her knees are barely over where her shoelace is tied, her hips push back, and she doesn't just bend her back, she really drops her hips low. Good deal. You can jump if you want to jump. If you want to go bigger, you got about 12 seconds. Good job, good job. So even now, even when she lands, hips still drop. She bends at the waist a little bit, but hips drop low. She's not just bending just at the waist. Good job. Now get that long 20-second rest. And I'll tell you, as you are doing this work, you're kind of doing this on your own. I should be there to help monitor with you all, to monitor for them, give you a little encouragement. But this is the hardest of all the timing exercises we're doing today. So we put it first. Good job. So it's 30 seconds of work this time. And again, notice every time she goes to, look what she does with her arms. Okay? She really does a really good job of throwing her arms up, so it doesn't just all have to come from her legs. Okay? She gets a lot of momentum and a lot of power just from driving her arms up. And you can tell by the way she's landing, she's working hard. She really is working very hard. And if you're pushing yourself as hard as you can, you're going to get a little bit unstable. Your legs are going to get a little wobbly. You're definitely going to get a little winded. But for her, this isn't that bad. She used to do it in a mask. At Mercy, we had to do these same exercises in a mask. So it's a bonus to not have to wear that mask. So this is her last 20 seconds, and then we're going to give her a whole minute rest. In between, we'll throw this exercise away. We'll go to a new exercise after a whole minute's rest. All right. Take your rest. Get your drink. I'll go ahead and show the next exercise we're doing. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a burpee, and we're going to do a little bit of a progression. Okay, so first progression for the 40 seconds of work, we're going to do a burpee like this, and we do a little hop over the cone. Okay, little burpee, little hop over the cone. That'll be the 40 seconds. For the 30 seconds, we're going to make it a little bit bigger. Okay? So still a lazier burpee, but a big tuck jump over the cones. Lazier burpee, bigger jump. And then for the 20 seconds, we're going to do a burpee all the way to the floor, big tuck jump over the cone. So this one gets progressively harder. The last one, especially the 20 seconds of work, should be pretty challenging. Okay, so we're going to give her. All right, and here we go. Go. You're good? Okay, so this is just a fairly lazy burpee. You're still working hard. You want to focus on getting your feet all the way out in the plank so you're level, and you put a lot of weight into your hands, so you work on core stability and shoulder strength. Just with that little hop and turn. And just like she did with the jump squats over the cone, she's going over the cone one way and then back over the opposite shoulder so that you don't get dizzy. She'll take a 20-second rest. And now our next progression is going to be that same burpee, but with a bigger tuck jump, knees up to her chest, each time she goes up high over the cone. Good, so still same nice controlled burpee, and then she's getting as high as you can when she goes over the cone. So now she's probably just going to start slowing down a little bit, okay, because she's got to go so much bigger and more controlled over the cone. Okay? That addition to the bigger jump makes it a whole lot more challenging. Good. Take a rest. Good job. You got 20 seconds. Okay, so this is that all out. Burpee all the way to the floor. Okay. The reason that we throw burpees in there, it's such a volleyball-related exercise. You go to the floor so often, and you got to get off the floor quick. So you got to put some emphasis on getting off the floor quick. Even if that means she slows down with the rest of it, but the drive off the floor is really is quick. Because when you hit the floor in the middle of a match, you've got to be able to get back up off the floor and be ready to make the next play. Okay, so that's kind of what we're practicing. Okay, it's got 10 seconds of rest, and she's really, really going to dial it down. Okay, because that should be a very challenging exercise. So now she's going to go really a lazy burpee, take her time, little lazy jump. Okay, and this should be, fairly slow pace. Time to your heart rate's up, but you're really working to get it back down while you're working for that 40 seconds, so that when you get to the 30 and then the really hard 20 seconds, you're recovered enough that you can really go hard. Nice long 20 seconds of rest. And we have a total of 3 of these different exercises where we're doing 40, 30, 20 seconds of work. Okay? So we're a little more than halfway through. We've got a 30 and a 20 here, and then one more exercise that we'll do. So again, this is same lazy burpee, about the same pace, because she's trying to get a little bit bigger over her cone. And again, as you're doing these, when you're working on your own, you can always slow your reps down. Don't stop. Keep moving for the whole work period. But slow down if you need to slow down. Make your jumps a little smaller. Sometimes it helps too to give yourself a little bit of break if you hold in the 40 and the 30 seconds of work, if you hold the burpee a little bit longer. Okay, so you don't just hop right back up from that. Okay. For this one, for the 20 seconds, we want to really go as hard as we can. So if that means you've got to kind of dial it down and you've got to cruise through the 30 seconds and the 40 seconds, that's okay to do that. Really, when you get to this 20 seconds of work, really go as hard and as challenging as you can. Good job. Okay, we're going to give Elena a minute or so to catch her breath and take a little rest. And then we'll move on to our last exercise. And our last exercise is a donkey kick. And we're going to give you a couple of options. Okay? So option one is you can just do it on the floor where you stay low and you just hop like you're going to go into a handstand and come back up. Hop like you're going to go into a handstand and come back up. Okay, that's option one. Okay, Elena's going to show you handstand because that's the way she likes to do them. Okay. You can also go over to a wall, put your feet on the floor, and just hop your feet up to the wall, hop back down. Hop your feet up and back down. Okay, so that's another option. Depending on where you're set up in the gym, if you've got a wall near you and you want to do them that way, that's fine also. Okay, we're trying to put emphasis in working our upper body, so this gives us a chance to do that and add a cardio element to it as well.
Can we do all of them to show them all?
You would.
Can we do all of them? Or just do one?
You can do however you want to do them. Yeah, maybe, why don't you do that? Why don't you do one version for each round? And we will only do this one because it is challenging, especially upper body. We'll only do this for one cycle of 40, 30, 20 instead of 2 cycles. All right, she's ready. Here we go. And notice each time she comes up, I know it's hard to see her for her hair, but she looks up. Okay. So what you don't want to do it wrong for a second, where she keeps her head down, because you're going to, now you can go back and bring your head back up. Where she brings her head up every time and looks up at the camera. Because for one, we want to see her smiling face, and because we want to make sure that she's bringing her head back up above her heart so that she doesn't get dizzy. And rest. And yes, you can see your shirt flies up, and it's okay, because it happens to everyone, and don't worry about it. Okay, so this is the second option that I showed you, where she's just going to do hands on the ground, and then she'll just hop her feet up. And she'll still do the same thing. Every time she comes down, she's going to come up and look up, okay, so that we know that she's bringing her head up above her heart every time. If you have your head down the entire time for 40 seconds, 30 seconds, you're really going to get dizzy and lightheaded. Okay. So you want to make sure that you're working hard, but you're staying healthy and taking care of yourself. Good, and should do one more. And rest. Good. Okay. Well, this is Elena's favorite one. So she'll do handstand, and you can do this how you want. Elena's really good at doing handstands, so she'll probably do handstand and maybe walk on her hands. She may stay on her hands the whole time, the whole 20 seconds. Okay. So however you wanna do that. Okay. So, and even if you want to do that where you kick up and you come back down. Okay. Once you get up there, if you want to get up there and you want to stay and just walk around on your hands, perfect. Okay. Yes, good job. Okay. And we'll let her rest and go grab a quick drink. Okay. We're going to let her take about a minute rest. So now that she's worked really hard, we're going to give her about a minute, maybe a little more than a minute, to kind of get her heart rate back down a little bit, and then we'll run her through some stretches, and y'all be done and ready to go to your court and do your one-on-one training sessions with your coach. So if you're ready, you can come on out, and we'll lead you through some stretches. Okay, so she's going to just have a seat on the floor. Just cone that. Okay. I'm just going to stretch both feet out in front of her. Yep, and just grab onto her toes. And notice she's really got a good grip on her toes. And if you can't do that, an option for you is to, I'm just going to kind of slide in front of you for a second. Okay. So if you can't, go ahead and get your legs straight and still grab your toes. Bend your knees and start here, and then just work your way out to as far as you can go. Make sure you've got a good grip on your toes though, okay? So when it just kind of barely touching our toes, we need a good grip. If you're right here and you feel a good stretch, that's great, okay? If you're all the way out here, if you can lay your head down on your shins, that's great. You go where you go to stretch, okay, and make it worthwhile. Okay, she's gonna go ahead and sit up. And then she's going to stack her feet so that, we turn to the side for a second. So she's got, okay, so this foot is out parallel to her body. She doesn't have her feet tucked in, okay? And then she's just stacking her hips, okay? And she's got decent hip flexibility, but you notice that she can't really get her knee on top of her other knee, okay? So you'll know you're doing this right because you really, really feel a really great stretch in your hips, okay? If you have good flexibility, you might be able to go ahead and stack your legs on top of each other and lay all the way to the floor. Okay. You can switch your feet. But especially for volleyball players, almost all volleyball players have tight hips. And so you can see like her legs are out a little, and she's leaning forward as much as she can to kind of get her hips to relax. Okay, and she's going to uncross her legs, and she's going to lay on one side, just lay on your side facing us. Yeah. So then she's going to grab her top leg and pull her heel up and let her knee kind of come behind her. And so I'm just going to pull on her a little bit. So she's pulling her foot back, her knees coming back. She's going to feel a good stretch all the way down through the front of her quad. So almost like a figure skater grabs her skate and tries to pull it up to the back of her head. That's what she feels like she's doing. Okay, so you're going to go ahead and flip over and stretch out the other side. Then you're just going to sit up and just cross her legs in a comfortable seated position and go into a tricep stretch. So, yeah, there you go. So she'll take one hand behind her head and pull over and stretch out her shoulders and triceps. Okay, and then she'll switch over to the other arm. Okay, so you're going to come up onto her hands and knees and just do a cat-cow stretch. So we turn to the sides. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Thank you. Okay, she's going to kind of let her back sag out like an old cow, and then she'll press the small of her back up to the ceiling like a cat. Okay, and she'll just run through that a few times. Just kind of get her back to relax and stretch out a little bit. Going to just push up onto her feet and come on up, and then she's going to just kind of come over and let herself just hang. And this is just let yourself hang, maybe let yourself swing a little bit side to side. This should all be, keep your knees a little bit soft. All should be about just kind of letting everything hang and relax, and back stretch out, hamstring stretch out, shoulders kind of lengthen, neck lengthens. Just let everything, take a few deep breaths and just let everything go and press to the floor. Okay, last thing, she's gonna roll up and she's gonna do a hip flexor stretch. So she'll take a lunge forward. Okay. She's gonna keep her back leg pretty straight and she's gonna reach up and over. There you go, with her hands. So she's stretching the hip flexor. Perfect. Hip flexor, upper back leg. Okay. So she's getting a nice good stretch right through here with the hip flexor. And then she'll just switch sides. All right, and that's it. We're good. We thank you, Elena, for your hard work, and hope you all work hard, and we'll see you in the next video.